The year is drawing to a close, but before the old year hands over the baton to the new year, the opportunities for manifestation open up one last time. Do you have any idea why the darkest night of the year holds more power than any other moment in the cosmic calendar? Why did ancient civilizations align their most sacred monuments to this one celestial event? And why have druids, shamans, healers, and spiritual practitioners gathered in ceremonies at this time for millennia? The winter solstice is not just an astronomical event. It is a dimensional portal, an energetic gateway that opens only once a year, when the fabric of reality becomes permeable to transformation and quantum leaps. On December 21st, you will witness a moment when time itself stands still. The Latin term for the solstice, solstitium, means precisely that. The sun stands still. We now understand that the sun is always standing still. But in this context, the express refers to the fact that the days grow shorter and shorter before something pivotal occurs, that the Earth's axis straightens again and the days grow longer. For our ancestors, this was the moment between what is and what could be, a time overlay as thin as a breath, transparent as water, and permeable like a dream just before waking. For thousands of years, people have recognized this night as sacred. The architects of Newgrange in Ireland, who worked with stone and astronomical precision over 5,000 years ago, aligned their passage tomb so that on this one morning of the solstice, the inner chamber would be illuminated by a beam of golden light. They were not primitive people engaged in superstition. They were sophisticated observers of celestial mechanics who understood that something profoundly significant occurs when light returns from its greatest absence. The Egyptians built temples in Karnak and Abu Simbel with such mathematical precision that the sunrise at the winter solstice would illuminate the inner sanctum and awaken the stone gods from their slumber. At Stonehenge, the Great Triangle is oriented toward the sunset of the winter solstice, as if the builders wanted to witness and honor the moment when the sun descends into its deepest darkness before inevitably rising again. These monuments were not merely constructed to mark time, they were created to harness that specific time, that portal, capturing and concentrating the transformative power that flows through the universe at this crucial moment. What did they know that we have forgotten? They understood better than we do today that consciousness operates in cycles, that the universe breathes rhythmically. They knew that there are moments when the ordinary rules of manifestation are suspended and replaced by something far more potent. Modern physics, particularly quantum mechanics, is beginning to grasp what mystics have intuitively known. The universe is not made up of solid matter, but of energy, vibration, and frequency. And a quantum mechanical level, particles exist in states of superposition, holding multiple potentials simultaneously until they are observed, until consciousness collapses the wave function and brings forth a reality from infinite possibilities. Your consciousness is not separate from this quantum field. Current research suggests that our brains may operate according to quantum mechanical principles, with the electromagnetic fields generated by our neural activity interacting with and influencing the quantum substrate of reality itself. Scientists studying consciousness suspect that our thoughts, intentions, and emotional states exist as interference patterns, as holograms created by countless brainwaves colliding and overlapping to produce the texture of consciousness. What does this have to do with the solstice? Everything. The Earth exists within a vast electromagnetic field, the magnetosphere, which is generated by the swirling molten iron in the core of our planet. This field is not static. It pulsates and changes in response to solar winds and cosmic radiation. It undergoes shifts that scientists refer to as geomagnetic disturbances. Over the course of Earth's history, the field has reversed its polarity hundreds of times. North becomes south, and south becomes north. The planetary tipping occurs without warning and for reasons still hidden from us. Your consciousness exists in this electromagnetic ocean. Every thought you have generates a measurable electromagnetic signal. Your heart produces an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body. You are not isolated. You are woven into the Earth's electromagnetic field, which is interlaced with the electromagnetic field of the sun, which in turn connects to the fields of distant stars and galaxies in an infinite web of energetic connections. At the solstice, something shifts. The Earth reaches its maximum angle of tilt towards or away from the sun, depending on your hemisphere. The angle of solar radiation changes, and the electromagnetic relationship between the Earth and the sun reconfigures. Ancient traditions speak of the veil between worlds becoming thin at this time. While this may sound poetic, there could be a literal truth encoded within this metaphor. If consciousness operates through electromagnetic fields, and if these fields undergo subtle yet significant changes at the solstice, then the conditions for manifestation, the creation of reality, the collapse of quantum possibilities into physical reality, are fundamentally different on this night than on any other night of the year. This night is not passive, it is like a door that opens once a year. Whether you walk through this door consciously or unconsciously determines whether you harness its transformative power or allow it to slip by unnoticed and unused. So, how do you pass through this portal? How do you perform the ritual that resets your reality for the coming year? It begins with understanding what a ritual truly is. A ritual is not superstition, it is not a pretext. It is a technology for focusing consciousness, aligning your electromagnetic field, emotional state, mental clarity, and physical actions into a unified vector of intention. When performed with sincerity and precision, the ritual creates a resonance between your individual consciousness and the greater consciousness of the universe. It establishes what physicists might call coherence, where multiple waves are synchronized and amplified, producing effects far more powerful than any single wave could generate alone. The most effective solstice ritual follows the natural rhythm of death and rebirth that this night embodies. The old year dies. The old self, with all its limitations, failures, and unfulfilled potentials, dies. The sun itself appears to die as it sinks to its lowest point, bringing the shortest day and the longest night. But within this death lies the seed of resurrection. The sun will be reborn. Light will return, and you too can be reborn. But only if you actively participate in this process. Begin by creating a sacred space. This does not require elaborate tools or years of training. It requires intention. Choose a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. If possible, work with fire, at least a candle or a fireplace or a bonfire if available. Fire is the earthly manifestation of the light of the sun. It is the element of transformation, reducing the past to ashes and making space for what is yet to come. Before you light your fire, before you start the ritual, spend time in darkness. This is essential. Sit in the longest night and feel it. Do not flee the darkness into distractions, into your phone, into watching TV, or anything that keeps you from confronting the void. The darkness is not your enemy. It is the fertile emptiness from which all creation emerges. Every spiritual tradition includes some form of darkness practice, some conscious encounter with nothingness, for it is only by immersing yourself in the darkness that you can recognize the difference between who you truly are and the stories you've told yourself about yourself. In the darkness, ask yourself what you are ready to let go of, not what you think you should let go of, not what sounds spiritually impressive, but what you truly need to release in order to step into the fullness of your power. What beliefs have you carried like dead weight? What fears have directed your decisions from the shadows? What patterns of self-sabotage are you ready to burn away in the fire of the winter solstice? Write them down. Be specific. The quantum field responds to precision. Vague intentions yield vague results. If you wish to let go of financial scarcity, name the specific belief that holds you captive. If you want to release toxic relationships, identify the pattern within you that continually attracts them. If you wish to let go of physical ailments, pinpoint the emotional wounds that are expressing themselves through your body. Once you have written down everything you are ready to release, light your fire. Hold each piece of paper, each recorded limitation, and speak it aloud. Feed each paper to the flames. Watch as it burns. Witness its transformation from solid matter into light, warmth, and ash. This is not symbolic. It is actual transformation occurring on a molecular level. Chemical bonds break, energy is released, and form dissolves back into formlessness. Say, I let this go with gratitude for the lessons it has taught me. And I call back to me all the energy I have invested. This is crucial. Every pattern you have lived, even the destructive ones, contains your life force. When you release the pattern, you must consciously reclaim this energy. Otherwise, you will simply create another pattern to hold it. Feel the energy returning to you with each release. Sense how you become lighter, emptier, more spacious. Once you have burned everything you are ready to let go of, sit in silence before the fire. Rest in the emptiness. This is the sacred pause, the moment of maximum potential, the 0 point from which everything emerges. In quantum physical terms, this is the moment before the wave function collapses. When all possibilities exist simultaneously in a state of superposition, you are now and only now ready to plant the seeds of what you wish to create. Take new pieces of paper. Write a single intention for the coming year on each one. But here is where most people make a critical mistake. They write what they want. I want more money. I want a better relationship. I want health. This does not work, as the universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Wanting implies lack. Wanting holds the energetic signature of not having. Instead, write as if your intention is already manifested. Not, I want financial abundance, but I am grateful for the rivers of abundance that flow effortlessly through my life. Not, I want to find love, but I am grateful for the deep soul partnership that enriches every aspect of my being. Not, I want to be healthy, but I am grateful for the vibrant health and vitality that fills my body with energy and joy. The universe is not like Santa Claus delivering what's on your wish list. You receive what you radiate, the frequency at which you resonate. If you embody lack, you will manifest more experiences of lack. If you embody abundance, gratitude, and fulfillment now, even before physical evidence appears, you align your electromagnetic field with the frequency of those experiences. And the quantum field must respond by bringing you circumstances that match that frequency. Write each intention as a statement of gratitude for something that has already happened. Be specific. The more precise you can articulate the emotional state you wish to embody, the more powerful your manifestation will be. Do not focus on the how. That is not your job. Your role is to define the what and the why. The what is what you are calling into being, and the why is why it matters to you. How will it feel when it is present? The universe, the quantum field, the infinite intelligence that spins galaxies, directs migrations, and transforms acorns into oak trees. This intelligence will take care of the how. Once you have written down each intention, speak them aloud. Again, the spoken word is an act of observation, of collapsing reality, of manifestation. Speak each intention 3 times. Feel it in your body. Where does it live within you? Abundance might feel like expansion in your chest. Love could feel like warmth in your heart. Health might resonate as vitality in your limbs. Anchor the intention not only in your mind, but in your soma, your physical form. For matter and consciousness are not separate. Your body is crystallized consciousness. When you can feel the intention in your body, you have achieved what physicists term coherence, the alignment between thoughts, emotions, and physical state. After stating each intention 3 times, place the paper on your altar or in a special location you have prepared. Some traditions bury them in the earth while others keep them in a box throughout the year. Some also burn them, entrusting the smoke to carry them into the ether, where they can begin their process of solidification into physical form. There is no singular correct method. Trust your intuition. The ritual is complete when it feels fully finished, when you perceive a shift in the energetic field around you, when you feel simultaneously empty of what was and filled with what will be. However, here's what most manifestation teachers won't tell you. The ritual is only the beginning. The solstice opens the portal, but you must walk through it every day. For the next 12 days, traditionally the duration of this miraculous period, read your intentions again each morning. Speak them out loud. Feel them in your body. This is not repetition. This is the amplification of the new frequency, the new electromagnetic pattern you are establishing. You are training your consciousness to inhabit the reality you have claimed rather than falling back into the old patterns that have been running automatically for years or decades. Between the winter solstice on December 21st and the new year on January 1st, You exist in a time between times. Use it wisely. Pay attention to synchronicities. The quantum field will immediately respond to your new frequency, sending you signs, opportunities, people, and information that align with your intentions. Most people overlook these because they are looking for the complete manifestation rather than recognizing the breadcrumbs that lead there. The purpose of the solstice ritual is not to get what you want. The purpose is to remind you of who you are. You are not a separate self struggling against a hostile universe, hoping to make reality give you what you need to feel good. When you align with your true nature, when you remember that you are not in the universe, but that the universe is within you, manifesting stops being an effort and becomes a flow. Things do not happen to you, they happen through you. You do not attract your reality, you create it from within. The solstice reminds you of this because it is a moment when nature itself demonstrates the principle. The sun does not struggle to return, it simply does so. The light does not force its way through the darkness, it emerges inevitably and uncontrollably. For it is the nature of light to shine. When you align with your true nature, your intentions manifest with the same inevitability. Not because you manipulate energy, but because you have stopped resisting the natural flow of energy. This is why the ancients built their monuments, performed their ceremonies, and stayed awake through the longest night. They were not trying to bring back the sun. They were participating in its return by adding their consciousness to the great tide of life. You too are part of this cycle. Every breath you take is a winter solstice, a turning point where the old breath dies and the new breath is born. Every moment is a portal, if you are awake enough to recognize it. But this moment, this night, this turning of the cosmic wheel, this is when the portal stands widest open. The winter solstice is your cosmic reset button. The ritual is your permission to press it. What happens next is up to you, but remember, as you stand in the longest night, light your fire and speak your intentions into being. You are not hoping, you are claiming, you are declaring, you are participating in the magnificent process of creation that has been taking place since the beginning of time. Embrace this power and let it guide you through the darkness into the light. You do not ask for permission from a random universe. You claim what already belongs to you. You acknowledge what is already true. You step into a version of yourself that has always existed in potential and is now ready to collapse into reality. The quantum field is listening. It has always been listening. This is the gift that the darkest night offers. This is the portal that opens once a year when the sun stands still, and time itself holds its breath, waiting for your response to the only question that truly matters. Ignite your fire. Let go of what was. Claim what will be. Experience your own rebirth. The portal is open.